Hello, my name is Noah Latwe. In this short lesson, I want to show you how to create basic form. If I ask you, would you prefer to create a form like this or something like this? This video is just to show you how to create a responsive, simple form so that when you check it on almost all the viewports, all the screen sizes, you're going to see something very friendly. Okay? But before we dive into it, let's just check the list of what we have to do. So in my GitHub repo, we have list of to do, but in this very video, we're just going to cover the HTML aspect. In the subsequent video, we're going to check the JS functionality. Now in the CSS and HTML, we're just going to create the tags, the necessary tags for us to achieve that, and we're going to style it. In the subsequent video, you're going to be seeing how to add random color generator and also printing the color name to the user. What are you waiting for? So let's dive into it. Alright, so let's design a basic form, and what I have here is VS Code. So I just have a folder which is called calculator name generator. So that's the folder which we'll be using. So right now, I'll just have the README file which carries all the instruction that we want. Then I need to just create the index.html. Index.html. Okay, so we can tell VS Code to populate our boilerplate, which is starter file. So once you just hit the exclamation and enter, it's going to populate that. But I think I want to already styled or customize my header tag. So I'm just going to copy this header section of my tag in the repository and just replace it with the one here. Okay, so it has the linked CSS. So if we save it and try to load it, so I also use the extension called live server. So if I just right click, I can load with live server. So currently we have empty page. So let's try to custom our form. So the first thing we want to do is just like declare a section. I like to wrap it in a section. Then I need to have my h1 to declare the title, which is going to be color name generator. Yes. And if we load it and check, automatically it will refresh. To make this very simple for us to always see what we're doing, I like to split my screen into two. Yeah, I think this works. I'm just going to minimize this. After having the head tag, then we need to just declare a form. Okay, so we're not going to submit our form. We're just going to declare input. So let's have input of test. Then we can say the name is color. Then, okay, the type is test, sorry. Then the name is color. We can also make the ID color as well. Okay, if we save it, you can see that we have an input that takes in a value. What we want to do is to add a placeholder. So the placeholder is going to have a default color, which is 84, then F. You can see that we have the default. The next is to have an input for button. The value is going to be generate color. Okay, you can see it's uploading live based on the live server that we're using. Then we need an ID for it as well. The ID can be gen btn. Okay, so the next thing we want is the result div. That's the div that is going to display the color name and the value. So we can just say div, then we call it, give it a class of results. Then we have our p tag. Now in the p tag, we can just say name. Then we have our span tag, span, which is going to have the ID of color name. We're going to be using the ID in the JavaScript version. So we can just have Lagoon defaults value. So let's just copy this and duplicate. So this is going to be the value. We're just going to give it the hex value. Then we can just give it the hexadecimal, which is going to be the same thing as this. So if we save it, you can see that we are almost there. This is going to be the basic structure of the HTML. So quickly, let's look at how to add style to it so that it can look better. Okay, so now let's add our style. To add our style, we need to just create a new file and just make it style.css. Okay, so this is where we're going to declare our style. Remember, our style is linked already through this. You can see the style is linked in the head tag. Then let's just style it. Style it first. Let's just target the global selector, which is can be achieved with asterisk. So let's declare the box shadow. Box shadow, which is border box. Then we want to declare the font family. So I like to use Open Sans. If I save it, you can see that we have the font being changed. So now that we have the font being declared, let's target the body so that we can give it background. So we'll just target the body tag. Then we give it background color. Let's give it hexadecimal value, which is 00848. Then we're going to have F. If we save it, you can see that we have our Lagoon blue. The next thing we want to do is to style the section. So to style the section, we want the max width of this our form to be 400 pixel. So let's say max width 400 pixel. Then if we save it, you won't see anything yet. But let's say margin. We want the margin top and bottom to be 20 viewport VH. Then we want it auto. So we want it to centralize. Then we want the background color to be white. Then we want the box shadow to be 1 pixel, 1 pixel. Then we want 50 blur, want RGBA. Then let's just remove this default value. Then let's have 0, 0, 0. That's black. Then 0.1. Should be able to see a lighter shadow. If we increase this, it'll be like 9 instead. I want it very light. Okay. The next thing is, let's pad it. Let's give it 30 padding. So we also need to give it border radius of 5 pixels. You can see the curved edge. Okay, so let's style our H1. So we want margin bottom to be 40 pixel. Then we want the font weight to be 200. We also want it lighter. Then let's target the input field. So we're going to say the font size is 1em. Then we want the padding to be 15 pixel. We want the width to be 100%. Then we want the border. We want the border to be 1 pixel. 1 pixel solid. Then we want a very light gray. So let's target the button. That's input. Then we want to target type of button. We want the margin top to be 20 pixel. We want the background color to be £333, which is dark gray. Then we want border to be none. We want the color to be lighter gray. Then we want the font weight to be 600. Something is wrong with our input field. Let's just try to debug. It's not supposed to be running out of this very margin. So let's try to see what's wrong. I think we've done some typos somewhere. Oh, this shouldn't be box shadow. This should be box sizing. And if we save it, you can see that it's fixed. So the next thing is, we need to target our result segment and style it. To do that, let's target the class results, and we are going to declare margin top of 40 pixel. 40 pixel. We're going to display flex so that it can load on the same line. We want justify content of space between. Okay, so the next is, let's target all the p tag. Now this is the results. Then we want to target the p tag. So let's say results p tags. Then we want to add padding of 10 pixel. Then we want background color of lighter gray. So it's going to be £EEE. Then we border radius of 5 pixels. If we save it, you can see what we have. The last thing is we need to target, we want to bold in this result. So let's target the span. So the same way we targeted the p tag, we're just going to say result and the span. Then we're just going to say font weight. Let's give it like 600, yeah. So you can see that it is bold, and we have our input field working, even though it's not generating anything yet. But we can see that we have a very cool customized form. So, and if we try to check the responsiveness, you can see on mobile it works pretty well. Then on larger screen is also working perfectly. And that's how we'll wrap it up for this very session. If you want the source code, you can find the source code as well at github.com/instincthub/color name generator. So in the next video, we're looking at how to implement the JavaScript section, which is going to add and also update the color and background based on the input and the auto-generated color value. Until next time, I'll see you in the next one.